of money. June 1st, everyone's saying that would be an X date. And it's going to take the speaker like at least a week, even if they do get a deal he and President Biden agree on, to present it to his members, let them look at it so no one's trying to read through 4 million pages in a 24-hour period. So this is really cutting it close. What are you saying?
It gets pretty close. In 2011, it was very scary. We lost about 16, 17% in about 10 days. The debt limit, it was really a speed bump. It goes back to, World War I. The idea was to give Congress some oversight in that process. We need to have a negotiation, and the first part of a negotiation is to have both players in the room. President Biden's off to Japan at this point. What I'd like to see is have them both sit there, get the staffers out of the room so they can sit down man on man, hammer something out. We're going to have to negotiate this, and we've got to get it done.
Spending caps, clawing back some COVID money. Those seem to be like low-hanging fruit. Also, permits, ironically enough, both the oil industry and the renewable industry is saying, we can't do business in this country. So even if you wanted to build the world's greatest solar panel factory, you can't do it. So maybe those are the low-hanging fruit areas we can get something done?
I think both sides of the aisle would embrace a lot of that, especially on the regulatory front. I think we have to get that done. It's a negotiation. Let's sit down and negotiate.
Let's talk about these markets, because you came in with a little pep in your step, my man. All right, a little bit better than I've been seeing. I'm like, the old David's coming back a little bit. You're getting back in fighting shape. No, but you are excited about this whole AI movement.
I am. I think it drives economic activity and it drives markets always a lot further and higher than you think, even though this will likely end in tears like it always does. But not owning some of these names like a Microsoft, Google, NVIDIA is like not owning AOL or Cisco back in the 90s.
Right. Right. And I guess the next leg here, by the way, some of these names, though, okay, Meta's up 98% in this year. NVIDIA's up 98%, Apple 32%, Amazon 32%, Microsoft 29%. Do people need to say, forget about where it is for year to date? Look more linear, look long term. I mean, because these names in your mind still have much more upside potential.
You could have made those same kind of arguments coming out of 09.
Right.
Out of 09, there were some pretty big jumps. The early jumps are huge. Meta is a turnaround story. The man has actually gotten his senses back, and he's now running the country.
Last year, I started calling it the maturation of Mark Zuckerberg. That was the rally, and it seems to continue, right? I mean, he's kind of given up, at least on the surface.
He's got some religion now. And
at least, I mean, you know what? These people, though, they love their moonshots. He's not going to give up on it completely. We'll see if they lose $14 billion this quarter on it. But so the markets in general, though, I mean, you got this bifurcated market where these tech names are just amazing, taking off like crazy. The AI story is the rocket fuel, and everything else kind of meandering a little bit. Are you looking in that pile also?
I have both piles, and that pile drags me down. Those names we just mentioned before, that's what's holding up the market. The bottom line is we have a Federal Reserve that's draining liquidity from the market. They've already broken a couple of banks. They keep pushing harder. They'll break something else. My hope is that we've seen the last hike.
Oh, man, me too. I just think it would be crazy for them to keep
Doesn't
hiking.
make any sense.
No. David, great seeing you.